This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to...
Whoa. You are not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about Disney magic without the pixie dust. I'm Nathan, and with me today are Saara. Hello, Saara.
Hello.
Dave. Hi, Dave.
Yo.
Jeanine. Greetings to you.
Greetings indeed.
And Victoria. Greetings as well.
Hello.
To give you a little idea of what this is all about and why it's come to be, I am also producing the show, and I wanted to do a very progressive podcast about Disney stuff that allowed the opportunity for people who are not me, white and cisgendered and male, to speak. And then all those people that I've gathered told me to do the introduction. So it's not my fault. Just to let you know. I put
he's a trusted ally.
I put my hands out.
Absolutely.
And I reached down and said, come up and do the intro. And they all said, no, you're good. So this is Rat Castle. As you can tell by the intro, Rat Castle is a small ode to our good friend Rizzo in Muppet Vision, who appears to Sam Eagle as Mickey Mouse for a moment. And that's kind of how we look at Disney a little bit. We all love Disney, but fully understand that it's very much their tourists. What do they know about much of it? And we want to be honest about that, and but not negative, right? Don't get me wrong. I know it's called Rat Castle, but we don't always be negative. But we want to just be honest. The panelists...
We want to spill the tea, Hunty. We want to
spill
the tea.
Yes, and that's true. We're going to talk about not only Disney theme parks, but other theme parks, Universal, things like that, and also Disney Plus and any Disney movies and TV that's happening. And unlike many podcasts, I don't know anyone else does it, we're going to try to do a little diss Twitter. We're going to try to do a little bit of the actual culture tea. So that's the hope, and we'll see how it all goes. So I want to introduce the panelists. And then I'll say a little bit more about me. But first up is Dave. Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Dave Cobb. I am a 30-year veteran of the themed entertainment design industry. I've worked for Universal and Paramount and Warner Brothers and built theme parks and attractions all over the world. So I'm going to be the cranky old man of the group. Get off my lawn.
Yes. And we're so thankful to have someone who has experience in the industry, and don't let him sort of, kind of put away certain information. The man helped make Men in Black Alien Attack and created a whole freaking theme park in Dubai. So, let's not mince words. The man knows what he's talking about, and we're so happy to have him. Saara, tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm sure you're happy to go second after Dave.
Oh, for sure. Because I don't even know what I wanted to say. But I'm Saara Suleiman, and I'm a recent college graduate, so yay, finished.
Yay, congratulations.
So I got my degree in political science, and I am a SoCal native. I used to be a cast member at Disneyland, and now I am free to talk about all the Disney secrets. But I'm not going to reveal too much because I don't want Mr. Mickey to come get me. But so I'm genuinely excited to be able to talk about my perspective on this podcast. So thank you.
We're glad to have you.
Awesome.
Jeanine lives in my neck of the woods. We're both the East Coasters on this podcast. Well, not true. Victoria, you're from the East Coast, too. You're just not a Floridian like Jeanine and I. Dave and Saara come from the Great West Coast. Jeanine, tell us a little bit.
The best coast? Okay.
Sure. Okay. What do we say?
The best coast?
You have 2 theme parks. We have 4. Jeanine, tell us a little bit.
The original.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Ooh, she's throwing down already.
She's throwing down already.
Girl.
If I had a dime for every time some Disneylander told me the original is what that counts for a lot, I'll tell you what. No, it's okay. I agree. It's pretty
That's
wonderful.
because it does.
It does. I agree. You have Indiana Jones and we don't, and that's the best ride in the world.
Technically, I agree.
Yeah. That's true.
But I was just there, so.
But we have the best. We could say we have the best Universals. I think we can all agree we have more
That's
Universal.
true. That's true.
Okay.
True.
We have
Very true.
like 1.5 more Universals than Hollywood. Janine, let's get to you. What are you all about?
Oh goodness, what am I all about? That goes weird, but for the purposes of the podcast, I am just a longtime theme park enthusiast. I moved to Florida, I think, mostly because my parents wanted to come to Disney more often, and I just I briefly worked for Disney. Right now, I'm a student of geosciences, and that's that pretty much.
Yeah,
I just like to go to the parks.
You're interested in in a bug's life, literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actual
My
bugs.
my license plate is I like bug.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Girl likes bugs.
I love that.
I love that for you.
And it's a little ambiguous. There's no E. So it could be I lick.
I like bugs.
Fine.
It's fun. It's fine.
Yep. I think I probably had at some point in my life licked a bug. I don't remember doing it, but I know I ate bird poop at one point. So the idea of me licking.
What?
I was a
Oh,
child.
no.
I was a child.
Oh,
Children eat
intentionally.
cookies and
Oh,
cream.
wow.
Cookies and cream and bird poop look the same when you're a child. I didn't eat it all.
Oh.
I didn't have a spoonful, people.
That could have stayed in the drafts.
No, everything comes
I don't
out
know
on
why,
this
but that's like
podcast.
making me tear up. I don't know why.
I'm just saying, licking bugs is not the worst thing in the world. You could
Your wife
eat bird
kisses
poop.
that mouth? Ugh.
I mean, on a good day. I have Christmas and birthday, so. Victoria, let's finish up with you. What are you all about, Victoria?
So I am a theme park. For fuck's sake, boy.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, we can cuss as much as we want on this podcast because this is Rec Castle,
Woo! Fuck yeah.
and you can say what you want.
Like, of
And
course he starts barking.
I will put a warning, of course, beforehand, so all the parents will know. But what's the point of having another podcast on Disney that can't cuss? So, Victoria.
True.
So I am a theme park content creator that focuses mainly on Disney. I've been doing that since 2012. I am decrepit, I know. I too worked at Disney World. I worked at Disney Reservation Center. So if you ever booked a vacation, you probably heard from me. So right now, not really doing much. I am currently raising money for American Cancer Society for the Disney Princess 10K. So,
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
yep, I've never run before, so this will be fun.
Straight to the 10K. Okay.
Running is the enemy.
Nothing.
I didn't know. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Oh, 6 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
6
That's
miles.
unreasonable.
Is
That's
the-
I was like, that's-
unreasonable.
Is the idea that if you don't do all 6 miles, the Cancer Society gets none of the money? Is that is that the pressure that you put on yourself?
Oh my god, I hope not.
Yeah.
I think you can walk it though. I think you can just
That's true.
scroll
That's
if you really
true.
want to.
You will make it to the end by hook or by crook.
Yeah.
I guess I have to talk about myself too. Lord knows why. My name is Nathan Hartman. I am a film professor by day and a Disney nerd by night and by day and by weekend for the most part. I live here in the Central Florida area. And I had a previous podcast called Dream Finders, which some listeners might have listened to. And I worked for WWNT, WDW News Today, for about 2 years doing digital content and journalism stuff on the side while teaching. And so I got to be in the parks and do all sorts of stuff. In fact, today, of course, upon recording is the very first day of the Festival of the Arts at Epcot. And some people say, well, man, it must be so fun to go the first day and try all the food. And it's literally the worst thing in the world. And you never want to do that. It's having to review like 40 items is, it's very gluttonous to say the
It
least.
gets very tedious after a while.
It really does.
Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo.
Yeah. Such privilege.
Like,
But
oh, you have to fry a moose? Oh,
yeah.
no.
But anyway, to begin, we're going to talk a little bit about theme parks and, of course, Festival of the Arts because it just started. Jeanine, let's get started here. Why don't you lead us off?
Oh yeah. So today the buzz is the Festival of the Arts, and screw the arts. It's about Figment.
This art. The
Figment is the word of the day. I'm not sure what Figment necessarily has to do with the arts, but that bucket,
Imagination, I guess. But
just the design of the bucket itself.
He's a little chonker.
okay,
that bucket.
that's what I want to talk
for
about.
sure.
Is this our
Figment.
third? Is this our third edition to Figment? Because we had 2 or 3 pieces of art where we had a nice
Figment.
beefy Figment, and
Yeah.
this guy is kind of.
I'm down.
Yeah, there's a nice thick Figment.
Yeah, thickums.
Yeah, he went to the Festival of the Arts and he has reviewed all the food.
He sure did.
Yeah, I mean he's literally full of popcorn. So
Sure.
It's not that much popcorn. Though.
no, it isn't. It never is. These buckets
handful.
are barely meant to hold popcorn.
Hey, it could be filled with anything you want. Like, if I were there, I would be like lining that with a plastic bag and putting like cocktails in it or something.
There we go. Now you're talking my language.
Modern problem.
Modern solutions.
All you need is I'm not sure they're leak proof, so you would need that plastic. Though
Yeah.
it would be good to know. I'm curious about that.
Somebody needs to do that. But it's a popcorn, but I don't get it. Can I just be the first one to say, like, okay, the popcorn buckets are a thing. I get that they're a thing. I think they're cumbersome. Like, I bought one in my whole life. I'm humble brag. I bought one at Tokyo Disney because it was Stitch, and you actually open his head and reach into his throat to get the popcorn. It's amazing.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's like, ah. But I bought that one, and I bought humble brag. I also bought the Tron Light Cycle one from Shanghai Disney. So,
Oh, excuse me.
but that's because those things were themselves very cool, I guess, and I guess Figment's cool. But like, I've never bought another one because they're so cumbersome to wear on the park. Like, I don't understand 7-hour lines for a $24 popcorn bucket. I really don't.
And people, I kid you not, I've seen several photos of just taking photos with like 8 of them around their body. And I'm like, what does that do for you?
Make some money on eBay.
Well, and that's what's weird, because the limit of 2 was put on these, and I think Disney's always the first to be like, to be damned. Like, they don't care how many they sell. They never do, and I think they put it up to, like, maybe hold bay if stock is low, but they knew what they were doing with this one.
They knew what they were doing.
100%.
And didn't we see, like, it's already on eBay. They're like $100, $140, $99.
There was one that was like 175 that I saw. But like,
They're as low as 80.
that's
Which-
cheap.
which somebody online said, well, that's cheaper than a ticket to the park. So I guess if you can't go and you really want one, okay.
For what?
Sure. I
But
know.
they're
What are you going to
honestly,
do with it
like-
at home? Are you really going to put popcorn in this at home while you're watching a movie? Like,
Your thimble of popcorn?
yeah.
I just feel like the popcorn buckets are, in my opinion, not really the cutest thing in the world. And I don't like how, like, when you're carrying them around, like, you are constantly going to be knocking stuff over with them. And it's
Yeah.
like, you're going to ding it on something. It's going to get a scratch on it or like a bump or something on it. And I just feel like it's so, in my opinion, I don't like them. I think that they're dumb.
Universal's social media had the best response.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see
I
that?
saw that.
The Universal
It was
Orlando
hilarious.
Resort was like, they were like, y'all must really like popcorn.
They're so shady. They're
And
so
then-
shady.
And then after that, they're like, meanwhile, Jurassic World Velocicoaster is 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I would take the Velocicoaster any day.
Any
Any
day.
day.
Yeah.
Over some popcorn, please. And it just like, I get why people take them and like they probably when they go home, they like hang them up, put them on a shelf or whatever. But they're so bulky. They're so
Yeah.
bulky.
Do you? Maybe it's because we just came out of Christmas. Does it remind anybody of those big old retro plastic Santas that are hollowed out and they're like just these big chunky? And we went to inflatables, but every time I see a popcorn bucket, I'm like, that's just like one of those big resin created molds.
Yeah.
It's too big to put. It's bigger than a Funko Pop. You can't like put it on your desk. Like, it's going to take up a lot of shelf space. My favorite hot take though was from Michael Libby on Twitter. He said, hot take, what if we focused on saving the planet instead?
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, that's a lot of, I mean, come on, everything in the park is killing the planet, but that's like this particularly large example of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like that is because all it's gonna do is like I'm looking at 2 popcorn buckets on my shelf right now, and they're just bookends. I don't do anything.
Those things aren't going to break down. Those are going to be in a landfill in a millennia, and aliens are going to find like all these popcorn buckets.
They
and think they were
worshipped
like
him.
totems that we worship. Yeah, right.
I just want to know who takes them back into the park because, like,
Nobody.
I have nobody. Because I will
Nobody.
be damned. Like, yeah, because I like taking like my small bag and then going to the park. I do not like carrying anything else.
I saw
So-
someone when I was in the parks near Christmas with a gold Christmas tree with Mickey and Minnie on it, and I asked them where they got it, and they got it the year before. So someone.
Maybe a
One
special
person.
holiday event
Yeah.
time.
Are the refills cheaper? No.
No. Are you
They're
So
the
kidding?
you're still
same.
paying
Yeah.
like, oh,
It was only the Magic Key one that had that $1.50 refill for like 1 month.
Yeah.
But that was it. Like 1 month and that was it.
Dave, you answered
Like,
your own question. You asked if Disney was going to give something to people cheaper. Like, you knew the
I
answer
know.
to that.
I'm sorry. I'm dumb. I knew.
Charge you more.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that. I'm dumb.
They also have wonderful flavors like Tokyo. Yeah, no. Of course they don't.
No, that's the thing. The Tokyo popcorn is like, I get it because
Yeah.
there's
different flavors.
and they have lines like when they roll out new ones and oh god, that there's a soy sauce butter one that is like mwah, so good.
whoa.
Brought some back to me, and I was like, "This is the best damn thing I've ever put in my mouth."
It's really good. It's
Everything's
really
better
good.
in Tokyo when it comes to Disney.
That's
in my
because
opinion.
that's because the Disney company doesn't own and operate
Yep.
it. So
Yep.
It helps a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
That is
yeah,
so
I guess that
true.
is what it takes.
I just wish that the popcorn buckets were less bulky and made more sense after you bought them.
Yeah.
When
That's
did they
kind of.
start making them?
I started seeing them like 3 years ago. That's when I started seeing them.
they saw Tokyo doing it. I think.
yeah,
Tried to-
Mm.
Tokyo's done it forever. I bought mine there in 2016 and then been going for a couple of years already. So, yeah, I mean, I get wanting a souvenir, but there's just something about them that's so sort of egregiously large and
Yeah.
unwieldy. You know, but to each his own, I guess. I'm not gonna popcorn shame anybody, but
Yeah.
but if you want to stand in line for 7 hours.
Can we put that into perspective? The last time I've seen a line that long was for freaking Flight of Passage when it first opened,
Yeah.
Yeah, or Hagrid's.
Yeah.
or Hagrid.
Yeah.
I would rather. First off, I wouldn't wait for a ride that long. But if I had to choose, I'm not waiting for a popcorn bucket for 7 hours.
Yeah.
Especially like to go sell it for $100 generously more than you paid for it.
Well, and the
It's
thing
not
about
worth it.
eBayers is some of them inflate their prices. So they will have
Right.
their husband or wife or somebody else put in bids
Oh, drive up the bid.
and drive up the
But
bid.
let's say they make the high thing on that one. Let's say the 151 sells, right? So that's what? That's $125 profit. Spread over 7 hours, that's less than like, you know, most jobs. So how much are you really living off of this thing, you know?
Yeah.
Which is insane to me. What drives me mad is when they already put the bids up before they even get the product.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
what if you don't get the product?
Yeah, right.
Disney desperately keeps acting like they want to curb this stuff, but the only way to really curb it is to offer it just everything on Shop Disney. And I don't really care at this point. Like, if you want to do that,
Yeah.
do it. I don't care. Like, and you want money, so do it. What are you doing? Just
What if they
stupid thing
tied
is-
the purchases to the passes or the ticket?
yeah.
They tried that. I think they
It's
tried
hard
that.
to
or they-
track.
Yeah. The stupid thing is like wait 2 or 3 weeks into this event, you're going to be
It'll
able
come
to
back.
stroll in and get one.
Yeah.
There's just no way that there's this much demand for that popcorn bucket. That's just locals, I bet.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
great. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Everyone's like, I want to put my stuff online first so that way I can get the views.
Yeah.
Resellers can suck it.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
resellers can eat a bag of dicks as far as I'm concerned. Those things just piss me off. The worst of the worst. If you're listening to this podcast, I officially hate you if you're a reseller.
Yeah, you're allowed to
hate
leave.
You.
Yeah, this is a podcast for everyone, all sexes, races, and creeds and genders, but also not for resellers. I don't care.
Not for resellers. Fuck all of you.
Yeah.
No resellers. Not for concert tickets or sneakers. That's where it hurts me the most personally. Concert tickets and sneakers with the resellers, super bad. But I do want to say one thing about like Disney, like essentially controlling the situation. I don't even think they can, because it's like it's cast members who are essentially the ones that are like the barrier between like the guest and Disney, and a lot of the cast members aren't necessarily equipped with the ability to say no to a lot of these guests who come in who are like, give me my popcorn bucket, or I'm gonna like, I want a supervisor now, or like I want a manager or lead.
Or God forbid, hit them, because we've had that happen.
Yeah, there was brawls. What was it? Something launched recently, and there was like people fighting over it. What was it?
Wasn't it for the Starbucks cup in at the Emporium at the very beginning of the 50th? I remember seeing videos for that. But I just think that like when it comes to the cast members, like if I'm getting paid minimum wage, I'm not really gonna give two fucks about somebody who's gonna get more than 2 popcorn buckets. I really will not.
No,
to be honest.
No.
And
we're living in the end times. Let's just admit it.
Yeah.
Literally. Send the flood. It's over.
Just send the flood already. Jeez.
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
It was Caligula for one fall of an empire, and it's going to be Figment buckets.
Figment.
For another one.
This is
this
the
big
end.
flaming. There's going to be this big idol Figment with like fiery eyes and like buildings torched, and
Ooh,
Disney,
that's
the whole
terrifying.
park, like it's terrifying.
Walt
Terrifying.
comes down from the mountain.
I just had a vision.
Yeah. I mean, we already have a golden Figment. There's a literal golden idol Figment at Epcot. We have it.
Yeah.
It's there.
Oh, that's
The golden idols. I couldn't believe that. It was
Yeah.
like, wow, you're really on the nose here, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll worship that dragon when I go back.
Oh, man.
Cult of Figment.
Cult of Figment. The Church of Figment.
Yep.
Oh my god.
God bless. What else is going on? Dave, do you have anything for us?
Oh, the big news for D23 is that they are restoring Walt's plane that he used to use to fly back and forth. It's called Mickey Mouse One, Walt's plane. I guess Amazon is helping pay for it and put it on display and helping restore it.
Disney has no money, so Amazon has. Jeff Bezos must come in on the backs of his workers and get this plane done.
I mean, they've done sponsorships to do things before, I guess.
Amazon and Disney?
No, I just meant in general, but Amazon and so weird.
It is weird that it's Amazon. Amazon
Yeah.
has never done
Yeah, that
anything
part's-
with Disney, to my knowledge, that I can remember.
Aren't they competitors?
I mean, not.
If you think about it, with streaming services.
No, and I know that I think about it. Amazon and Disney. Do you guys remember that thing that happened a while back where everything went down at Disney?
Oh yeah, the servers are
Amazon
Amazon.
Cloud Services.
Yeah.
Amazon Web Services cover like half the globe, and is one of the things that's the one arm that needs to be sliced off that.
It's the
corporation.
end times, like Dave said.
Yeah,
The end times.
We must pray to our dear Lord and Savior.
Figment.
Oh man.
But I think that it's cool. I would personally, I'm not a huge Walt Disney fan. Like I'm not like a diehard like fan like that. But I think it is cool seeing like all the memorabilia from his time, and I think the plane would be cool.
I like a good anti-union man who wants to create a man on his deathbed who wants to become the dictator of a whole city. I enjoy it.
Don't forget Chainsmoker. Chainsmoker
Of course.
as well, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, that caught up to him real quick.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing about that plane that bugs me is what, other than the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco notwithstanding, which is great if you've never been. It's about him specifically, and it's not really about the parks. The parks are like this footnote at the end because it ends when he dies, right? And it's a great collection, but why is there not on property somewhere some sort of like, I know we say over and over again Disneyland's not a museum, right? And nor should it be. But isn't there a place for this stuff? Isn't as part of the resort in Florida or here in California or something? It just seems so weird.
They have the story of Walt in Hollywood Studios for you to run into when it's raining.
Yeah. It's good.
It's good, but it's like kind of boring at the same time.
They don't do enough for it for me. Like for me to be like, wow, you know what we should go do? We should go do that place.
Oh yeah, once you've seen it, it's been because they don't like continually
They don't
do
switch
it.
out often enough. Like that's
There needs to be.
But we have the Bowers.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. You have Bowers, and they keep working with Bowers and doing stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's really cool, and the tickets are pretty cheap too. So it's a really fun museum. It's a museum here in Santa Ana, and I think there was one exhibit that they had during the height of COVID last year, and they also have a new exhibit this year. So they have a lot of cool stuff there. I think it's a really great museum.
Yeah, archive stuff. It was the first one's archives, and the next one, the one currently, I think is like dresses and jewelry and stuff.
Yeah, it's the costumes,
which is really cool. But Anna, there's no, and I get what's going to happen if they ever have a museum. It's going to be in Anaheim area, and but really it should be one in California and one at Disney Springs. I get having Cirque where Cirque is, and there's a new show and everything like that, but you could easily put a museum near that or use the Cirque building for that.
Cirque building, you could literally just use NBA experience.
Well, yeah.
They ain't doing nothing in there.
Yeah.
They wasn't doing nothing when it opened either.
Yeah.
No, there were tumbleweeds through that thing.
But even downtown Disney right now, like they have so much space in downtown Disney that could be like we could have a museum there.
Yeah, and make it a ticket event. People would go.
Literally.
Are they going to let people in the plane? That's what I want to know. Are you going to be able to walk into it and
no
look
way.
around? Or no?
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
No way.
It'd be cool.
It's extra money to do the
bad.
inside. They only did the outside, probably. You know what's funny about this plane? It was, of course, in Hollywood Studios for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I don't know, chucked behind Animal Kingdom and just left, like wrapped and left. Like, I love when they're like, we've carefully restored this, and maybe they did now, but they like left it out. Like they didn't put it in a hanger.
There.
Yeah, they're like tinfoil.
Two shits about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so weird because you know they have storage upon storage
Yeah.
upon storage available to them.
Back there, you just let it sit back there and fry in the Florida heat. I'm just
next to the Flight of the Navigator ship rotting away for so many years on the tram tour.
This is what's funny to me. It's like, well, we haven't really done anything with Walt's plane, but we have the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids shrink ray. Like, it's in perfect condition. Like, it's sitting here ready to be seen anytime
the
anyone wants
logic
to.
of that.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's like literally one of my favorite movies of all time. But still, it's so strange to be like, we don't know what to do with this plane.
But the bigger thing for me is I tapped out on D23 after like the first year. I'm like, I'm out, never going. It just, the lines are ridiculous, and they hype the smallest little things, and it just feels so. It's such a, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's always a little crumbs for the fans, but it's never a buffet.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's crumbs. I thought that the better events were the ones they did. The attraction rewind stuff in Florida was pretty fun. A couple years ago, they did a great one for Adventures Club where they brought the cast back together, but the D23 thing is like, here's a convention booth where you can buy stuff, and we're gonna have 2 pieces of art from a movie coming up, and like, come on. It always feels like, what am I paying for? Oh, and then the tickets changed this year, right?
Yeah.
Didn't the tickets get more expensive this year?
Yeah.
So the pricing, well, people were mad apparently that there's no longer a sorcerer package, and you can only do 1 or 3 day tickets. I think you used to be able to do 1, 2, or 3, but now it's only 1 or 3. And for some reason, I don't know why they did this. Apparently, the expo is being presented by Visa, and anyone who's a Visa card holder, whether it's credit or debit, can get the pre-sale, which is a day before.
Interesting.
Okay. But the thing is, though, like, remember, D23 was only created because Disney looked at the decades of Disneyana conventions that went on, and we're like, how do we get on that action? And said, no more unofficial stuff, and we're going to own it and make money off it, which is fine. I get it. You know, all the companies are doing it now. Warner Brothers, DC has their own fandom thing, you know. But it's like, it's like the Comic-Con panels, that I've been to, there's some actual like fun reveals and stuff there. But
Yeah.
At D23, it's always been like, wait, you're just going to release this in a press release 5 minutes before you say it anyway. So why do I need to go?
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to be here?
It's also really disorganized. Like, I worked at the last D23 event as like a lead for the archive stage, and the way that like there aren't enough cast members there to like deal with that much of a crowd, like it is really bad. The people aren't trained. There isn't communication, and I feel like that's kind of like, personally for me, the worst part about D23 is the just like the lack of organization.
Yeah.
Which for
the company as a whole, though, if you're gonna be
but for an event that big, for like to be hiring people the day before, like I just think that's they're not even, so half of the crew that works at D23 are not even cast members. They are not cast members. They like are from I think it's like the company's called like the Allied it's like that staffing agency.
Staffing service. Yeah. Like convention.
Yeah, so it's those people, the people that you will see at the concerts, the regular concerts, like they are at the D23 events. Right. It's like most of them aren't even cast members. So I feel like if you're going to be paying that much money for an event like that, you should be getting cast member service.
Right.
And you should be...
Two finger point.
Yeah, and what's fun...
Tickets. I have no idea how much it costs.
Isn't it like $280,
They're like,
$290?
let's see, it's one day's $89. A 3-day ticket is $229.
Did you get to the preferred seating one?
That's only if you're a member. If you're a general member, it's $99 and $279. And preferred seating, what? Preferred seating package for 3 days is $899.
That's
It's crazy.
Just so you can hear Bob Chapek be excited about Target stores. That's all this is for. Like
literally.
Like I've never seen the man brighten up more when he was like, "And we brought the Target dog," and we're like, "Well, we love the Target dog." You're of course, literally destroying all our mall childhoods as you say this, but okay. I guess we've paid $800 so we can sit here and see the Target dog.
And these are for panels that they're going to live stream anyway.
Yep.
I can sit at home in my underwear with a scotch and watch this stuff. Why would I?
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
How you have to be a member of the D23 club now in order to go.
Yeah.
Like you either have to be a complimentary general member or you have to be a D23 gold member. If you're not either, you cannot go to the expo.
But the fact that they don't even have the sorcerer's package, I think for me is like where it's awful, because I remember the goodie bags from the sorcerer package. Yeah. They were so good. Like I even took some home. Like the goodie bags were nice. Like they had so much stuff.
You get a goodie bag if you're a D23 gold member.
Yeah, but the goodie bag for the sorcerer's package was amazing. Like they had some limited edition stuff. There was even a Frozen, the Frozen musical Broadway tickets in there too. Oh, so like it was a good goodie bag. Like, like it was nice. But I think the good thing about D23 that I personally would say is kind of worth the money is if you collect the merchandise. I think the merchandise at D23 is really cool.
Yeah, totally. That's the only, it's usually the only time you get very specific stuff. Now, they just recently released an Adventurers Club t-shirt, like for general buy at the store, and it's amazing. Yeah. But that's something that I look at and I'm like, how has that not got D23 on the back?
Can we also say the other thing, one thing I probably am going to look forward to and tune in for is the Masquerade Ball, because it's being judged by Nina West. So we got some drag up in here.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like the official Disney drag queen. It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
She did a bunch of like Disney songs in her act for years and years and years and years. So it's kind of amazing that she's like this now family sanctioned, family friendly drag queen, Yeah. Good for her. I'm like, get that coin, bitch. Get that coin.
Literally. That's awesome.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about fake Matt Damon. So if anyone saw online, for some reason, I think it was last week at this point, there was a guy at Hollywood Studios that I guess looked like Matt Damon. I mean, not really. Not.
He was wearing a shirt that had Matt Damon's face on it. I'm like, what celebrity wears their own shit?
And you can compare and see that he looks nothing like the shirt.
Yeah.
I was just confused. Like, why were people taking pictures with him?
Yeah.
He doesn't even look like him.
Was it a sociology student?
Yeah, the Matt Damon sociology student. It's just so like it is weird because, and I think it's one of those things where like I think a couple people wanted a photo and then people just start lining up because they don't know what it is and they're just like sure,
Right.
which is why like I mean. Tim Tracker got shit for this because people would ask him for photos. Oh, vloggers get it all the time where they'll have people that want photos or whatever. And they've been told like, you gotta like not do that stuff because you're causing a scene. And so this fake Matt Damon shows up and he's like, I'm clearly not Matt Damon, but I'm wearing Matt Damon on my shirt. Who would like a photo? I don't know how this starts. I don't know how you go. Like, do you go? I'm
But like,
fake
where
Matt
is
Damon.
the security?
Yeah,
Where's security? Because like they should have been on his ass. Like you should not be able to like have a crowd like that.
But,
like it's not safe.
again, like I'm watching the video right now. Not only does he not look at all like Matt Damon, like what world do these people come from that think a celebrity is going to enter the park with a T-shirt of themselves?
Yes.
I am flabbergasted.
With no plaid.
No one does that.
With no plaid. Like
no plaid.
You will never see Matt Damon.
Nothing.
You will never see Matt Damon if he's at the parks.
I saw Neil Patrick Harris at Disney with no plaid.
Neil Patrick Harris wants to be at Disney with no plaid. That man had his
That
own.
makes sense.
Well, he was a custom drink right at the tequila bar at Epcot is named after Neil Patrick Harris. Like the man.
Like that man does not care.
He loves just being at like. There's no one who loves Disney more, I think, than Neil Patrick Harris. He really is into it.
Oh, Chris Evans too, but he usually has a plaid.
Yeah.
Who?
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love Chris Evans.
The celebrity I've run into the most at Disneyland, like 4 times actually. Kevin Smith.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kevin
Really?
Pollak because Kevin Pollak loves Disney just as much. But the idea that Kevin Smith is at Disney makes total sense to me. But the idea that Kevin Smith is everywhere.
With his daughter, of course.
Yeah.
Every time I saw him, he was with his daughter, and he was super sweet. He was nice.
Yeah.
He'd let people take photos and stuff.
He's a nice guy. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like you could probably get a photo per month with Kevin Smith if you're in the right areas. In Los Angeles.
I'm originally from New Jersey, so my opening line to him was like, "I'm from Jersey," and he was like, "Get out!"
I'm from Jersey too. That's fun. We got 2 jerseys.
Awesome. Spring Lake.
Dover.
I think that it would have been more thematically appropriate if fake Matt Damon was in front of Gromans, because that's exactly where fake Matt Damons are in all fake characters.
Oh, that would be hilarious if they start putting like shoddier versions of Disney character outfits in front of Runaway Railway now. Like, oh, that's very meta. That's extremely meta. Like Superman has to show up. Like DC characters have to show up there for no reason.
Yeah. they'd have to turn One Man's Dream into a sex shop to make it a true, authentic Sunset Boulevard experience.
It an authentic Hollywood experience.
Hollywood Boulevard experience.
A little bit of spice.
Yeah,
you know,
that is a
it's something over there, people. Victoria, shall we talk about lightsabers?
Oh yes, we're gonna talk about the umbrella bags, huh?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Woof.
It has come to our attention, apparently, that due to quote-unquote supply chain issues that are currently happening around the nation, the complimentary bags that you normally get for your lightsabers when you do the Savvy's lightsaber experience are not available at this time. So instead, you have the option of getting them in a plastic type bag that looks similar to like an umbrella bag, or you can pay $50 for a upgraded version of the complimentary bag at Doc Ondar's. So that way it's going to be more secure. And people were not pleased about that. Also, it came to my attention that if you go to Droid Depot, you no longer get the cardboard boxes for your droid.
Right.
How are they going to have the droids without the cardboard boxes?
You just have to hold them like a baby.
You gotta buy the backpack, right? This is all about the upsell.
Wow.
They have the plastic bags for those as well. Don't worry. And then
I mean, these experiences aren't cheap to begin with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's recently raised them. When I did it, it was with tax $210, but now I think it's $215, and then add tax to that.
Fucking hell.
As people got pissed, and then they said you could have a 10% discount, with like $20 off. So you're really paying the base price.
Well, and of course, that's after them not doing that. Like, let's not like suggest
Right.
that they gave the discount to begin with.
Yeah.
No, they got shit,
No.
and then they gave the discount.
Yeah. And I mean, and I'm a grown ass man who paid $200 for a lightsaber. I'm not gonna lie, it made me cry. It was very, very cool.
But let me ask you, where is that lightsaber right now? Is it like in the dark closet, or like
No.
is it actually being used?
It's sitting in the corner of the living room, ready to display to anybody.
Sarah's like, is it actually being used? Yeah, he chops lettuce with it. What are you talking about, Sarah? It's a display item.
I use it all right.
Oh boy,
Wink.
wink.
Oh boy.
We had to
I use it as
come
a
on.
cat.
Okay. Ooh.
They make a good cat toy.
They do. They make an excellent cat toy. They love that shit.
I got one, and I thought the upgraded bag was really cool. So at the time, I got the free bag, but I bought the other one because it's really cool. I do a whole. Full disclosure, I do a whole Star Wars bounding outfit when I go to Galaxy's Edge, and because
cool.
I am that nerd,
Oh,
and
yes.
and. But still, like, the fact that, like, for a temporary time they just weren't giving that extra bag to you is flabbergasting to me. Like, come on. If this is a supply chain issue, step up. This is, I mean, at least kiss me if you're going to F me like that. God.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's a matter of also just like show at that point. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not provide the bag?
Right.
Yeah.
And to have that light, again, going back to the stupid popcorn bucket, if you just hit it a little bit, it's like, it's screwed. It's fucked. Like, you can't even like do anything about that lightsaber. Like, you need the padding in that bag.
Yeah.
And there's another one on the West Coast. Why didn't, like, is Disneyland out of them too?
Yeah, they were.
They were. So it was
Yeah.
both parks. So it was a
Yeah.
supply chain thing. Oy.
Yeah.
Then knock some money off.
Right. Like, for all that, I would rather you just like give me more money off of the experience, because in reality, because of COVID, no one's getting the full Savi.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really good point.
That's what you're paying for.
I mean, look, we all know whatever you buy here is a premium. Like, I pay $20 for a cocktail at Oga's and don't blink twice. So let's not
They're good.
let's not mince words. Like, of course I want to pay for an upgraded experience, but that's the point, right?
Right.
Like, I'm willing to pay a premium if it's more than a fucking plastic bag. Like, that's just wrong. That's just
Yeah.
super wrong.
Like Saara said, it's just bad show. Like,
That's-
it's really
Yeah.
trashy.
Because you're like walking around Galaxy's Edge with a lightsaber and a what are you like? You're like the bargain basement Jedi. You're like the
It ruins the immersion.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
has
really
that-
does. And also, like, you go on like another ride. Where are you going to put it? Like, what do you do with it?
It's not because it's not disassembled, right? Like, you can't.
No.
It's
no,
together.
No, technically you can take it apart.
Yeah. You can take the blade out of the hilt, but
Back in the day, you used to be able to, like, I don't know if you can now because of COVID, but sometimes they would like send it up to the front for you and you could just pick it up. But I don't think they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I don't think so.
you know what upgraded experience I'm waiting for? Did y'all see the new? Have you watched the new Boba Fett show?
Yes.
Which is meh. It's okay. There's I'm waiting for the Oga's upcharge experience with the nose lizard and the vision quest that you go on. That's going to be like $100 experience, right? Where they blow the dust in your face and the lizard crawls up your nose and you take some and the drink's laced with ayahuasca and you go on a vision quest. Like,
Oh my God.
sure, I'd pay money for that. That's awesome. Sign me up.
That's a real experience. We could probably do that.
Sir, get off. Stop humping the Woody at Toy Story Land. Sir, you must. Sir.
Sir.
I am the lizard queen.
Yeah. It's like, is DJ Rex melting? What's happening? What an experience. Oh, well, let's move on to Disney film and television. We'll get back to some other theme park news coming up here, but there's an interesting piece and then some frustration. Sorry, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Pixar's Turning Red movie is going to be headed straight to Disney Plus. It won't even be getting a theatrical release. And we also have the Santa Claus limited series, and that's going to be showing up on Disney Plus very soon. So, like, what are your guys' thoughts on Pixar's Turning Red?
Well, first of all, the trailer's freaking cute, and I want. Who doesn't want a giant red panda in their lives?
Absolutely.
It's adorable. you know, yes, I want to see things in theaters when I can, but we're in a world now where so many people don't, and it's. I think there's a barrier to entry now because of COVID, obviously, but there's also a cost barrier to entry for a lot of people. I just think people are so used to like, oh, if I get it on Disney Plus now, I'll just watch it at home. So, you know, I like when they do both. When it's like it's in the theaters, like a limited release. Yeah, I'd much rather see it in a limited release, but you know.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
if
the
I
guy who
don't,
makes those decisions.
if I don't get to see Lightyear in theaters, I'm gonna lose my shit. Because
that's
Year's gonna be in theaters.
Yeah.
They want to
I
make
heard that they're keeping that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I just feel for the employees because I can already tell they're frustrated. Like I get, you know, we're still in a whole Panda Express. I get that, but
That's a good pun.
like, oh, I have several in the chamber, but yeah, I just feel for them because it's like they work so hard on these things. And the director, I think this is like her debut. Like I think
that's tragic.
Debut film. So it just kind of sucks that, you know, I mean, but who knows? We already saw what, you know, Encanto did on Disney Plus. So
yeah, and it's become a cultural touchdown even without being in the theaters already.
Yeah.
So who knows? I mean, that I'm more worried about the churn of movies, right? Like that how quickly will it just go? Who you know who's talking about Black Widow right now? And it was what 5 months ago. So not that was a good or bad movie. It's a great movie, but it's like there's just this constant churn of stuff.
There's too many. Yeah.
Can we just talk about also how Seeing Red is like an enormous sort of coming out allegory?
Yeah, it is.
Like super on the nose.
Yeah.
That's so much.
After Luca too, we're getting Disney's landing on these coming out allegories. I like it very much. Yeah,
I think the furries are gonna love it too. Unfortunately, so.
Oh, you know that panda or that red panda tail is going to be out and about. Hot Topic's going to sell that in a heartbeat. It's going to sell like madness.
Hot Topic.
Yeah, totally. I have the Cheshire Cat one. I would totally buy that one.
Yeah,
maybe I'm a secret furry. I'm like a tiny secret furry, maybe. I don't know.
Not a secret anymore.
Here's my question about the Santa Claus, Dave. This question's for you. Is Tim Allen considered a sexy Santa Claus by bears, or does he? I saw a picture of him the other day, and I was like, "This is sort of a sex. Like, there's no Kurt Russell Santa Claus here, but
no, Kurt Russell could get it.
Yeah,
Kurt Russell. I mean."
Sexy Santa Claus.
The bear thing, bear fetish and Santa fetish sort of do cross over at a certain point. I will absolutely admit that. But Kurt Russell's a whole other level of hot.
Right.
Like, holy moly, that man could just wreck me. Sorry.
Getting steamy.
Whoo! No, I mean, Tim Allen, like, I understand why they're doing that show, because remember, he did, how many seasons of Home Improvement? Like, 10 or 11? And 9 of Last Man Standing, which I've never watched. Popular as the movies were, he was a much bigger series star. And so it makes sense to me in my head. I did not really grow up with those movies as a kid, so I don't really have an affinity for them, so I can't really say. But they're cute, and they're funny. They're very 90s. I watched them this year, and they're like, oh my god, they're so 90s.
The first one is the one that I watched as a child. The other ones didn't really count, at least in my brain. But even that first one, the plot is insane. I mean, the
family dynamics are so not okay. Like
no.
They treat each other like crap. Like it's so 90s.
Yeah. It's
and,
very
and the mom jeans that are super high waisted, right? The 90s. The 90s fashion and haircuts is on point.
I mean, they're coming back.
Yeah, they are coming back. Those mom jeans are
the
back.
2000s are here now.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's doing. The low-rise jeans, Lord.
They're going to learn about flares. They're going to learn the hard way. They won't listen. We fought this battle, so they wouldn't have to.
Right. Listen to your gay elders. Do not go there.
Don't make unnecessary journeys.
No, Junko jeans are not coming back. Stop it. Those died with the rest of my rave wardrobe from the 90s. Do not.
I have only one desire for the Santa Claus series. It must have Judge Reinhold in it. If it doesn't, it's not worth anything. because I appreciate Judge Reinhold. That's it. I don't care at all about Tammy. Who is the other guy? David Krumholtz. I'll take David Krumholtz back as well. Who played the main
he was
elf.
the assistant, right? He was the main elf.
And then he was on Numb
him.
3ers for years. And
Numb 3ers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Spencer Breslin, who was the main elf in 2 and I think 3. He was also the kid in Bruce Willis's The Kid. He could come back,
right.
but he's like a stoner now. I followed him. I watched him on Instagram the other day. I literally went, "What happened to Spencer Breslin?" And I looked him up, and I was like, "Oh, okay." God bless him. He seems happy, but he doesn't look like an elf anymore. I'll tell you that much.
Of course, he's happy. He's constantly stoned.
Yeah.
Are you implying elves can't smoke the good juice?
Oh no, I'm sure the elves have their own. The elves grow it. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Elves probably have, like, I want Santa and elf names now for different strains, right?
Yeah.
Like Christmas cookie and.
Well, when you're basically slave labor, you have to find goodness where you can.
Ooh.
I guess Walton and Santa have a lot in common. They're both anti-union. Dave, finish us up with some Universal news.
Universal. So, 2 big stories out of Universal. First one is the Shrek 4D attraction finally closing after 18 years or so. Good riddance. That thing was long in the tooth. I mean, we talk shit about it now because it's just another 4D show. But remember, like, there were no 4D shows at Universal when that came out, and the other parks had 1 or 2 Muppet Vision and Bugs Life and things. So it was like it felt like rush to market. Like, we need a 4D show, but it stuck around.
Yeah.
But man, the bucking seats when you're in the horse scene are just like, just kill me now. This is terrible.
I had Universal Pass for a year when we first moved here. I never once went to Shrek. I had no interest. I maybe it was because it literally could be found in a cereal box that I was like, I can watch this on Netflix if I really want to, which you can.
They literally released the film as part of the DVD releases.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called The Ghost of Farquaad. It's a short. Like
yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, ugh. But, the bigger story of that, though, is the construction walls that went up after they closed it, right? Because everybody was predicting, it's going to be Secret Life of Pets, which is the new ride here in Hollywood, which is really great, by the way. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wonderful dark ride. Really well done. Everybody's like, it's got to be that. And the construction walls went up, and they were for Minions. And it's the logo from the movie that was supposed to come out last year that hasn't come out yet. Or did it?
No, Rides of Gru is 2 years into the tooth. It's supposed to come out. It's Minions 2 Rise of Gru.
And so it's that logo, and everybody's like, we already have a Minions attraction. Why do we need another one? Here's my prediction. I don't think it's a permanent attraction. I think they're going to put in something that is like character meet and greets and shit for promoting the new movie when it hits theaters this summer.
Oh, maybe.
I think that's it.
Yeah, but
right?
you can already meet the Minions at Minion Mayhem. Like, they're in the exit.
Either that, or they're doing an indoor version of like Super Silly Funland with a bunch of flat rides or something dumb like that.
Oh, that would
because that's something that park doesn't have enough of, right? They need a bunch of C tickets, to be honest. So, the industry guy in me goes, I'd love a big, huge, fancy dark ride too, but they don't need it. So,
but the problem with that area, period, is that it is theoretically the thoroughfare. It's the main street for Universal, and
it's just Minion.
It's just Shrek and Minion. Yeah, it's Main Street is Minion Street now. Like, if it's a Minion thing, that is your first impression. And don't get me wrong, they've never tried to emulate the design of Disney Park. There's no weenie at the end or anything like that. But it's weird.
It was a front lot, right? It was supposed to be sound stages, and there was the fake New York backdrop, and then the back lot was off to the right down.
Yeah,
and that was all intentional to feel like, it's production. It's because to the left there wasn't themed, like the whole building. It was just the entrance for Hanna-Barbera, and then it was just the entrance for Hitchcock, and
yeah.
All right, that behind the scenes studio BS worked for a while, but nobody cares about it anymore. So let's make the whole building just big super graphics of Minions. So yeah, it's a weird way to welcome people to that park. I think ages it down. It makes it your first introduction to the park. I mean, you go next door to Islands of Adventure, and there's that beautiful main entrance, which is so perfect. And the main entrance to Universal Florida is like billboards, and you know. So, Revenge of the Mummy is the other big news, that it's going down for a major refurb, which, you know, Universal has done, like the retract almost all of the Hulk, right? So it's a reinvestment. That kind of stuff's smart, because these things don't last forever. So I think it's smart money because it's a very popular attraction. The big question that the fans have is, are they going to get rid of the production pre-show, which, by the way, was always never really worked, because most of the story of the pre-show was very early in the queue and everybody blew past it because it never really filled up to that anymore. And so the whole Reggie the assistant and get me a damn cup of coffee at the end, most tourists would come to ride the ride for the first time and go, why is Brendan Fraser yelling at me at the end of this ride for no reason? So, you know, there's lots of speculation about what that'll be. And when you look at the Mummy they put into, where is it? The one in Singapore. It's not production based at all. It's just more tomb. So they could very easily do that. My vote, though, is make it a museum of the Universal monsters, of all of them, and then end with the Mummy, and then it turns real into the ride. That would be my...
That would be cool.
It is It is a museum. I mean, it's set up to be that thing. So, let's talk about the literal plot of this ride and why it definitely needs some upgrading. So you walk into, this is my favorite confusing ride of all time. You walk into a museum and it's immediately actually a movie set, and there's movie set stuff happening, and the the seance person from Poltergeist shows up, and then you end up going down a hallway, and now it's actually a tomb, not a museum with tombs, but like a literal Egyptian tomb. And then you start going through and you're in a tomb, and then you come to a stop, and the ride itself tells you it's a ride. So you're not in a museum or a tomb, you're on a ride. But then, of course, the mummy blows up that person, and it's now still a mummy. And then it ends with Brendan Fraser telling you you're at a movie studio. So I can see why they might need an update a little bit.
That's like a breathless story told by a 6-year-old. First, there's this movie set, and then there's this big tomb, and then you know.
It's a little different in California, though.
Yeah, in California.
Yeah, different means worse.
I'm sorry, ours sucks.
It's not great. It's not great. I mean, they were supposed to dig down into that one, but they couldn't, that's why it does the weird stop backwards and turn around at the end. 'Cause they were originally going to dig and make more room and make it closer to Florida's layout, and they just couldn't for structural reasons. California earthquake foundations. The roof was only meant to be a certain height. If you dig down, you got to put in more to make the
for the higher roof.
Yeah.
I'm willing for that risk, because what I've been told is death is only the beginning. So
anyway, I mean, the ride's good, and the fake ending is such a great idea that, you know, but even there, that adds to your confusion. Like, it's a ride now at the end. Yeah. But wait, no, there's a real curse. Like, it's telling what's the old Disney adage? Tell one story. This is telling like 10.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we might have I think we would have gotten some, if Tom Cruise's Mummy would have really exploded, I think it would have already been rethemed.
What a turd. That thing was terrible.
Yeah. And it was supposed to start off the
Dark Universe.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, which was like a Marvel universe of monsters with like, they were monster hunters. It was called like the Praetorium or something. It was
But be glad it failed, because if Epic Universe does get its Monsters Land, it'll be old school and not new crappy versions. So
I'll be excited for that. That's the one thing I'm really looking forward to, because I really missed the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review.
I saw all the designs, but I can't talk about it.
Oh, gee, my knees.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
My last job, we actually worked on it.
Oh.
Can we get a hint? Like something, a tiny bit? Nothing? That
NDA
is real tight?
Sued. I'm going to get sued. No.
Yeah. And if you did get sued, I'd go, hey, someone actually is listening to the podcast. So that's nice too. It works out either way.
out.
Well, thank you guys for this great conversation about different stuff. We'll be back bi-weekly, so every other week we'll show up on your podcast feed. Rat Castle is produced by yours truly, Nathan Hartman. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode, and please tell a friend or several friends or all the friends that you possibly have, because we would like to see this show succeed. And I love the idea of possibly voices that aren't normally heard. If any one of our guests are gone, we'll have other people on that have unique experiences and perspectives. That's the hope anyway. You can also check out our website at ratcastlepodcast@podbean.com. And with that, thank you guys for coming on today. I appreciate seeing you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was fun.
And for you audience listening, grab your belongings and exit to the left.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What forces would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?